I pray you find peace in the chaos and direction when you feel lost. I pray for your protection, your health, and your heart. Sometimes we only pray because we want relief from what's happening. Start asking God not to relieve you from the hard times and struggles, but to strengthen you. You are strong. God may push you to the edge, but he will never let you fall. The Lord knows what you can and cannot handle. Keep going. Sometimes we feel like God is all we have, but if you have God, you have all you need. Lord, remind me that you can turn any situation around, even those I believe will drown me. God, please give me your peace to quiet my worries, because I'm not sure how everything will work out. Lord, please help my faith be stronger than the fear and the what-ifs in my mind. No matter what may come my way, with God, anything is possible. God, no matter what it looks like, I trust you to work it out for my good and your glory. I know you're worried about yesterday, but yesterday is over. I know you're worried about tomorrow, but tomorrow is not promised. The only thing that matters is right now. God, give us guidance. God is fixing the situation you are stressing about. You had to feel it so that God could heal it. Let go and let God. Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. I slacked again. I said I was going to post twice a week. I don't even think I posted this past week. I'm sorry. I promise, this is a promise to you and myself. I'm literally filming 2 times to post this week and next week. I'm literally going to post this video and then I'm going to film 2 more over the weekend so that I can post next week. I swear. Also, a few people have been asking me what Bible I have. This one's just from Barnes & Noble. It is the New Living Translation. It says it on the side. They also have like copies of this on Amazon. This is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just sharing what I have. They also have copies on Amazon that are the New English Translation. I just find those to be easier to comprehend, understand, and also kind of fun and peaceful to read, because sometimes it's not fun to read something that you really don't understand and you're trying to grasp it so hard, but like you don't even know what dialect of English, and like you just can't comprehend what the heck you're reading. So if you are new here as well, everybody that already subscribed might know that I like starting off my Godly Talk videos with a prayer just for all of us. And then I kind of dive a little deep into the prayer, and then I get into the main segment of the video of what I wrote in my journal. We talk deeply about that, and then I end our session with a prayer as well. So today's prayer that I opened up to, this comes from In God's Presence, a daily devotional by Bridget Marie. It's on Amazon. So it says, the title is The Rebirth. The passage says, once you accepted Jesus as Lord of your life, a rebirth takes place. Now, it didn't happen overnight. It takes time for God to shape and mold you into who he wants you to be. The entire time you are living on this earth, you are being shaped and molded into who God wants you to be. That was kind of deep. I say that was deep because the entire time we are on this earth, God is trying to mold us into who he wants us to be. God is using us to talk to others or influence others to do certain things. I always tell people, you never know who is paying attention to you. Like whether you have children, whether you have nieces and nephews, whether you have younger or older siblings, your parents might even catch on to certain routines that you do every day that might benefit them. You just never know who is watching you. And that is exactly why I post my prayers, because I write them personally for myself, but you just never know what slight change you make in your life, how much it could impact another person. So the entire time, back to this prayer, the entire time that we are on this earth, God is using us and he's working through us, whether it's to help ourselves, whether it's to grow within ourselves, or whether he is using us to help other people on this earth. So just keep that in mind. God created spirit before he created flesh. So God works through your spirit. We have so many desires of the flesh and so many temptations. And it's like lock in with yourself, lock in with your spirit, lock in with your soul and your mind. Focus on God and ask God what you need to be doing. Yeah, it's a blast to have fun with friends. Yeah, it's cool to go out and have a drink or whatever. Yeah, it's cool to mingle and have a single life, and you're still trying to get to know yourself and get to know people and align yourself with who you think you might be meant for. But it's not your plan, it's God's plan. So how about we start to tap in with God? We ask God, who and what we should be aligned with and watch him work. So back to the passage, it says, what you once did, you may no longer want to do. Once you, I can't even talk, I'm not cutting that out. What you once did, you may no longer want to do because you're trying to lead yourself by going to parties and mingling and having this single life and hooking up with people of all sorts. And every weekend it might be a different guy or a different girl. No, you might be all over the place with jobs. You might be all over the place with finances. If you just seek God, he will listen and he will change your situation. But you have to seek him. Some of us, oh my goodness, some of us get so, we feel like we're so far gone, right? We feel like we are so far gone and we haven't talked to God in weeks. So we're like, whatever, I'm just going to keep living the lifestyle that I'm living. There's no coming back. Like, I'm just going to keep being a messy person. I'm going to keep going out. I'm going to keep getting blackout drunk. I'm going to keep trying to make quick money and not find a good job or a stable income or finish what I'm doing with my business or whatever the case may be. I'm going to keep hanging around these friends that are just draining the living daylight out of my energy because I'm so far gone. Why fix myself now? No. Take some steps back, lock in with yourself, sit still for a second and figure out a relationship with God. Even if you don't know how to pray, because I do get messages, I see comments and messages saying, can you help me figure out how to pray? I don't know how to pray. People might think it's a silly question, but I don't. Because sometimes we have something on our heart or in our mind and we don't know how to literally write it into a journal, or we don't know how to say it to God. Some of us lack faith in God so much that it's almost hard to believe God is even there. I guarantee that hit hard for you. Some of us lack faith so much that it is almost hard to even believe that God is even there or if he is even listening. I share this journey because I have literally gone through some of the toughest things I've ever had to go through in my entire life. And I would put God on the back burner. I'm sharing this just so you guys can kind of understand. I put God on the back burner when I was going through hell. I didn't want to talk to God because I was embarrassed. I didn't want to talk to God because I didn't know what to ask God for. My mind was in chaos. I didn't even know what to say to God because I didn't know if he was even going to change my situation, you know? You could be going through a hard time and you don't even know what to say because you're just so buried into the depths of the heavy weight of life that you don't even know, like, God, help me. It can be as simple as that. God, help me. I am begging you, God. You see what I am going through. You see what I'm dealing with. You see what I do have and what I don't have and what I lack and what I am aspiring to be and what I truly want for my life. So please help me. It can be a cry out to God. It can be tears. God sees and hears everything that you are going through, but what you need to do is seek him. You cannot be so scared to talk to God because you're going through something, because as soon as you start putting that faith in God, you are going to see your life change. I have gone through miracles myself where God has brought tears to my eyes because I didn't even know something that I asked for was possible. I didn't even know God could make a change within 3 days of there being a deadline because I lacked faith. And now when I struggle or when I'm going through something or when I'm questioning something or how's this going to get done, the first thing I do is put my phone aside. I enter my bedroom, I sit on my bed or on the carpet, and I talk to God like he is my best friend. I've said that in other videos. Talk to God like he is the closest person to you in your entire life. When you start being obedient to God, that is when your life will start shifting. And we do have to be careful what we pray for, because when you ask God to help you and when you ask God for change, God is going to move on your behalf. But God is going to move depending on the alignment and will he has for your life. So if I say, God, please align me with who and what are meant for me. If that means I have a best friend and that person gets yanked out of my life out of nowhere, I have to remember what I just asked God for. If I were in a relationship and I was dating somebody and I said, God, please align me with who and what are meant for me, and then I get broken up with, a week later, you have to remember what you just asked God for. And the thing is, I say to be intentional and have faith in God, because when you pray on things and God moves, sometimes we get angry with God and we're like, why? Like, why did this person leave my life? Why did I get broken up with? Why did I lose this job? Why don't I have this anymore? Or why'd you take this from me? Why, God? And it's like, don't question God. You were the one that was intentional with what you said to God. You were the one that was intentional with what you asked God to do. And all he did was listen. Sometimes we want prayers to be answered so bad, but in our own way, right? So if I'm like, God, align me with who and what are meant for me. I want to work here. I want this group of friends. I want my boyfriend to look like this. No, you're getting carried away. This isn't freaking Target. We're not just going to start buying things. We're talking to God, who created you, who created this world. So it's like, if he knows best and he knows who and what are meant to be aligned with you or with myself, I want it all. Bring it all. Give me it. Why would you want something that is not meant for you? I wrote a prayer not too long ago. The prayer said, God, if it is not for me and it is not from you, then I do not want it. Do you hear how deep that can get? God, if it is not from you and it is not for me, then I do not want it. Why would we want something or someone close to us if it is not from God? It ends in destruction. It ends in disaster. Did you ever try to force a relationship with someone so bad and you kept going back, and it still ended? That's because it wasn't from God. Maybe God sent it into your life to help you grow, to teach you a lesson, or maybe God didn't. Everything that we receive and everyone we cross paths with, yes, we are most likely supposed to cross paths with people. We don't meet people by mistake. There's either lessons, there's blessings, or there's growth within who we cross paths with. But did you ever stop to think the enemy sends people and things into your life as well? Did you ever think about that? Just because you got into a relationship or you have the best friend on the planet, that does not mean it was sent by God. That's why when certain things end, we get angry with God, because we think that everything that comes into our life was God sent, and it's not. That is why you need a deeper relationship with God, so you can decipher who and what are being sent by God and who and what are being sent by the enemy. Because the enemy can give you things that you pray for real quick, but yank them real quick. God, when we ask for God, when we ask God for things, we want them to come overnight like that. The things we ask God for can take time, but they will last a lifetime. Run that back. The enemy will give you things quickly and take them away quickly. God's blessings will take a while, but they will last forever. You understand? So it's like, it's almost like having an expectation with someone. Like whether it's a friend, a sibling, a family member, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Have you ever heard people say, like, don't expect too much from people because then you're going to break your own heart? I've heard that. I tell that to myself because I'm always trying to like put people on this high pedestal, and when they let me down, I'm heartbroken. So it's like, yes, God is on a high pedestal, but don't believe everything that comes into your life is God sent, because then you will let yourself down. Your heart will break. You enter a relationship that wasn't from God, but you weren't talking to God about that relationship, so you would never know if he sent it or not. And now you're heartbroken because you love this person so much, you spent years with this person. Yeah, but the enemy could have sent that relationship because maybe you were just so desperate for love and you were just forcing love into your life so much that the enemy gave it to you, and then it ended up breaking you in the end. This is why we have to be close with God. This is why we have to talk to God daily, so that we can figure out who and what are in our lives that were God sent and who and what are in our lives that shouldn't be there. Let me finish this prayer because this is deep. Okay. It says, those you used to hang with, you may have outgrown. What you used to talk about seems so insignificant now that your heart is being molded. I have to keep stopping. What you used to talk about seems so insignificant now that your heart is being molded. God will shift your entire life, your entire relationship, your entire friend group, your entire surroundings and job, because when you start talking to God, he's going to align you with exactly what he has for you. This is why there's a lot of us that don't follow God. There's a lot of us that don't talk to God daily. Yeah, maybe you pray sometimes, but are you intentional with it? And are you close to God the way that you should be? Because a lot of us ask God for things only when we are in distress, only when we're struggling. Stop doing that. If you wake up and there's no worry on your mind, there's no anxiety, there's no fear about anything, then just say, thank you, God, for waking me up today. Thank you for another day. Thank you for blessing me with having a roof over my head and being healthy. Because I promise you, there are so many people on this planet, even if we're going through hell right now, there are so many people on this planet that would trade positions with you. Whether it's hard to believe or whether you're just like, yeah, you're right. I'm right. There's so many people that have it worse. And I used to be told that, but that doesn't mean what you're going through is not significant. Everybody goes through their own things. We're all on our own journey. But I'm just saying, if you align yourself with God and you talk to God more than you do now, watch how your situation will change. It is insane. And just be careful what you ask for, but be intentional. Don't hold back, because again, why would you want something or someone that's not from God? If it's not for us, we don't want it. Say it with me. If it is not for me, I do not want it. If it is not from you, God, I do not want it. Please give me what you have for me. And then we end this passage by saying, enjoy the process of rebirth. God is transforming your heart, mind, and spirit. And at the end, I put, Lord, please make me who you want me to be. In Jesus' name, amen. Yes, I went to Starbucks today. Okay, the main point of today's video was to talk about what our hearts deserve and what our hearts may desire. But I clearly started talking about the passage that I was reading before. But this is an actual journal that I wrote. This journal's from Walgreens, by the way. I just liked it because it has like the date line at the top. The other journal that I write in, where I circle the dates and everybody asks where it's from Target. It's just called Thoughts Journal. It's brown and then the word thoughts is in gold. So yeah, go on Target, like online. They have a bunch of copies, or just go to the store. But right now we are going to focus on a prayer for your heart. Let's see where it leads us. It says, I pray that your heart learns to know peace. I pray that you stop settling in places because you're comfortable. I'm already going to stop right there. I pray that your heart learns to know peace. I pray that you stop settling in places because you're comfortable. Being comfortable is okay sometimes, but we fear being uncomfortable because a lot of us, being human beings, we like to control things. We like to know the outcome of things, right? So if you're in a place where you're comfortable, then the anxiety is lower. The fears and worries decrease. When we start to enter seasons or places, relationships or friendships that are new, that makes you uncomfortable. That brings fear. That heightens anxiety. That brings worries. That scares you because you might have to start being vulnerable with new people. Stop settling in places just because you're comfortable. You know what you deserve. You know who you want to become. So stop putting a block or a stoppage on your growth and on what you deserve because you're comfortable. I pray that God aligns you with who and what are meant for you. In each prayer that I write that says a prayer for your heart, I normally add that exact same line. I pray that God aligns you with who and what are meant for you. I just talked about this actually earlier in the video. I want someone who is meant for me. I want someone that was God sent. No, you don't have to have this huge relationship with God. You don't have to be this huge influencer on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. But if you know God, then I know that you know what love is. I know that you know what loyalty, honesty, and respect mean to a person. Because if you're close with God, then you know what all those things are. If somebody enters your life and they're like, oh, I've never said a prayer before. No shade towards you. Like, you can still help someone get closer with God. But it's like, so then do you know how to treat someone? Do you know how to love someone fully? Because God is love and God is within you. So yeah, maybe somebody doesn't know God, but they believe they know how to love. You will understand what love is the closer you get to God. Because the way God is so obedient, so loyal, so honest, and so intentional with what he gives you is what you deserve from somebody entering your life. You picking up what I'm putting down? The closer you yourself or your partner get to God, the better the relationship and the outcome of the relationship will be. Yes, earlier in the video I said, yeah, the enemy will send people to you, but you have to decipher who is coming from God so that you don't mishandle the blessings. The only way to know if somebody was sent by the enemy is by talking to God, because God does not bring confusion and chaos. God brings peace and clarity. I pray that you walk away from people or things that make you feel unsettled. I've dealt with this a few times, not relationship-wise, just family-wise or friend-wise. Have you ever been around someone that genuinely makes your spirit and your soul feel unsettled? Ask yourself that, because I'm about to give you some insight. Have you ever been around somebody that makes your spirit or your soul or just your being feel unsettled? You enter a room or you're talking to somebody nonstop and your chest is just getting tighter and tighter. You feel like you cannot be yourself around that person because all they do is make you feel bad about yourself, or all they do is judge you, or all they do is add chaos. All they do is add negativity. All they do is pour their issues upon you. That is what I mean by do not stay where someone makes you feel unsettled. You deserve peace. If you are a yes, yes, yes person, start to learn how to say no. Start to learn how to say, I'll let you know, or I'll get back to you on that. Stop sacrificing your peace to take on the burdens of other people. I don't care if it is a parent, a sibling, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a friend you've had for 15 plus years, a coworker, a boss, a job, a home environment. Do not settle and sacrifice your peace for chaos. Don't do it. The closer we get to God, the more we will know peace. I pray that when you share your heart with someone, they take care of it like it's their own. I say this because when I love deep. When I love, I am intentional with my love. And when I love, I am going to care for your heart the way that I care for my own. The only way you are going to be able to love someone is if you love yourself, or at least working on loving yourself. And the only way you can love yourself, this all goes back to the same guy, God. The only way you can love yourself is by being close with God so he can teach you about yourself, so you can have moments of self-reflection, so that you can dig deep within yourself and figure out why that triggers you so bad. Why is that trauma still showing up? Am I still surrounding myself with triggers, with past people that I thought I was over, but I'm running back to? Like, am I still surrounding myself in environments where I don't belong, that God tried to yank me out of, but here I go crawling right back? Maybe that's why the trauma is still showing up in your body. Maybe that's why the triggers are so... Maybe somebody at work said they didn't like the way that you did something, or they didn't like the way you talked to somebody, and now you are pissed. Now your entire day is ruined. Why did that trigger you so bad? Because you're not self-reflecting enough to find who you truly are. You're not talking to God enough to ask God to heal you of those triggers and traumas. Maybe you've gone through, but maybe you're still struggling, and that is okay. Healing takes time. Growth takes time. You're not going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. In God's eyes, we are perfect because he made us. But that doesn't mean you can't be a work in progress. We learn new things every day. And the more you self-search, the more you self-reflect, and the more you talk to God, the more you're going to know yourself. Like, personally, I go to therapy and I love it. Me and my therapist are buddies. Not because I'm some nutcase, not because I feel like I have problems or whatever. Therapy can be an outlet so that you have a non-biased opinion towards something that you're going through. You have someone that can't give judgment and be biased against you or against someone else because they are not your friend. They are not your bestie. They are not your parent. They are not a cousin. They aren't the person you were friends with years ago that didn't like the person that you're talking about in the situation you're describing. They're just not. So it's an outlet. It's an outlet to open your mind. It's an outlet to self-search and dive deeper into self. It's a way of God working through someone else so that you can discover who you are and discover why things bother you the way that they do. And when you start doing self-reflection, when you start journaling on your own, whether it's a prayer, whether you use your journal as like a little diary or just things you want to work on, so be it. But the more time you spend with yourself, the more you will learn. And the more time you spend with God, the more you will know how to treat someone else. So this is why I mean, find somebody that loves you enough to take care of your heart like it's their own. And make sure it's a good person, because the good people in this world will do the self-reflection. They'll talk to God about you. They will dig so deep in their heart to change their heart position, and they will change their entire life for the person they care about. I pray that you learn self-love. I didn't even see that this was the next sentence. And what was I just talking about? Loving yourself first. I pray that you learn self-love so that you do not mistake someone's kindness for love. I have been there. Just because I'm a good person and someone else is nice to me, I'm like, oh, maybe this person loves me. And then we end up chatting, and then my heart gets broken. Because kindness is not love. Love is love. Respect, loyalty, honesty, and value are love. So make sure that you talk to God so intentionally and so deeply that you are asking God, tell me, is this person for me or are they not? Stop staying where you're comfortable. Stop doing it. If you know somebody is treating you poorly and you just have a feeling of being unsettled, or you're paying attention to red flags, stop ignoring them then. If you saw the red flags and something rubbed you the wrong way, speak up. If it is not for you, it is going to bring you nothing but chaos and confusion. Stop staying where you're comfortable, because no growth comes from staying where you're comfortable and staying where there's chaos. You have to keep moving forward, because as soon as you get uncomfortable and as soon as you let go of the old and the chaos and the confusion, watch how much better your life gets. I pray that God allows you to experience real love with someone you are truly meant to be with, so you don't spend a lifetime searching for it. I pray that you experience real love with someone you are truly meant to be with, so you don't spend a lifetime searching for it. The closer you get to God and the better relationship you make with God, the closer you will get to what He has aligned for you. Are you hearing me? If you continue to stay where you are not valued, you are not cherished, you are not respected, someone is not honest with you, someone is unloyal to you and you know about it and you're still there, the more chaos you will continue to experience. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to let go of things and people and places you want to be so bad. I know it's hard. I've done it. I'm not just someone writing prayers because, woo, let's pray today. No, I'm living in it. I know it's hard. I know what it feels like to have to let go of somebody that you thought loved you for real. I know what it feels like to have a friend of 10 plus years and now you're no longer friends. The tears come. The loneliness comes. But you know what I tell myself? Being alone does not need to be associated with being lonely. You can be alone and find peace in that quiet. You can find peace with being by yourself. But the only way that's going to happen is if you talk to God, you love yourself first before anything. I'm not even talking just like before you get into a relationship. If you don't even know what self-love is, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You got to talk to God and ask God to position your heart in a way where you learn to love yourself first, because those triggers and that trauma, it's still showing up because you don't know what self-love is. You're staying where you're unsettled and you're staying where you're comfortable because your heart is used to chaos. Your heart may be used to manipulation and your heart may be used to toxicity. So you stay because your heart doesn't know real love. Your heart doesn't know purity. Your heart doesn't know how to be handled in a gentle, pure form. And it's okay. We go where we are used to being. Let me say that again. We go where we are used to being. And this doesn't have to be just about a relationship. If you worked a job and then you start a new job and you're like, nope, this change is too much, so you go back to the old job. I wonder how many people have done that. I've done it. And why did I do it? Because I was scared of the change from the new job. So I ran back to the old job where I was what? Comfortable. Have you ever been in a situationship, liked somebody, been talking to somebody, never were boyfriend, girlfriend, or maybe you ended up being boyfriend, girlfriend, and then you end things and then you go back. You end things. Oh, here we are talking 3 months later. You end things. It's been a year and a half. Oh, we're back in each other's phones. What? Because you're comfortable around that person, even though they make you feel unsettled. Isn't that insane? You can be comfortable somewhere that you're unsettled, and that is because you haven't checked yourself and you have not checked your heart posture. You have to talk to God so that God removes you from the places that you are not meant to be. I promise you, if you are just experiencing pure chaos, confusion, and feeling unsettled and uptight all the time, then you are not where you are meant to be. I don't mean you're not where you're meant to be on this journey, because wherever you are right now is where you are meant to be spiritually on your journey. But I mean, if you are consuming chaos and confusion and red flags and disrespect and unloyalty and all of that stuff from someone, then you are not meant to be there, because what? God does not bring chaos. He brings clarity. So go where you are valued, go where you are respected. And if you can't go and if you can't leave whatever situation you're in, then seek God. You can be living in pure chaos. You can be with someone who doesn't value you and you don't know how to leave. You don't know how to leave the job because it makes you feel anxious every time you're there. Or all there is drama and bickering every day with coworkers. Or maybe you're in a friendship where you're like, you are draining the hell out of me. Or maybe there's a sibling that you're close with that you guys are just not getting along, but you still want to hang out with that person every day, even though they are making you feel unsettled. If you are in the chaos, it doesn't mean you have to run out of it. Of course, we want to move on to peace and clarity. But if you are so stuck in the chaos that you can't move yourself, God will move you, but you have to seek him. So you might be in a situation where you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't want to be at that job. You don't want to be friends with this person. You don't want to be dating this person anymore, but you don't know what to do. You're trying to lead yourself. That's why. You don't know what to do because you're not talking to God to ask him what needs to be done. You understanding? So it's like, I could be living in pure chaos and I'm just like, I can't be here anymore. What am I going to do? You're going to talk to God. I am not joking when I tell you I talk to God like he is physically sitting next to me on the couch. When I pray, I say, God, enter my room, enter my home, enter my heart, my mind, my body, and my spirit, and sit here with me. And if you need to say, God, make your presence known, I promise you he will. I promise you, if you say, God, make your presence known, you might see a blanket move. You might see a curtain move. You might see the flame of your candle that you've had lit for the past 4 hours get huge all of a sudden. Pay attention to the signs. Ask God to enter your room, enter your space, enter your mind, make his presence known so that you know he is with you while you're praying, and I promise you he will. And one more prayer, guys, because I'm really enjoying this godly talk, and I feel like because I haven't posted in like a week and a half, you guys deserve all this chatting and yapping. I feel like because I was talking about your heart posture and a prayer for your heart and just stuff like that and being on a journey, getting closer to God, I feel like it's only right to share a prayer for healing. I did post this on TikTok earlier today, and let's just talk about it. Let's evaluate it. Let's see what it means to me and what I can share with you. So it says, I pray that you heal from the things no one knows about. I already have to pause. I pray that you heal from the things that no one knows about. Yes, we are close with people, and there's people on this planet that know a hell of a lot about us. You got that bestie, you got that cousin, you got that person that is your go-to that you, yup, girl, I'm talking to the same dude for the 5th time in the past year. Or, yup, this happened and this was crazy. I had my appointment today and this is, he told me. Yeah, bro, I hit her up again. Things like that. Yeah, we got those go-tos that know little things about us, or, oh, you're going through a hard time, or, oh, this happened, I failed this test, or, oh, I don't know, this happened and now I'm fighting with my mom. Yeah, there's people in our lives that know those things. But you and God are the only ones that truly know who you are. You might still be self-searching and working on self, but God is the only one on this earth that knows who you are and what you are going through or what you've gone through. So when I say I pray that you heal from the things that no one knows about, I say that so purely. There are things that I have gone through that no one on this planet will ever know about, except God. There are days where life feels so heavy that you can't help but to let tears fall from your eyes. Because maybe you wish you had somebody to tell, but you just don't feel comfortable enough to do so. Maybe you wish you had that outlet, but you don't want to be judged for it. Maybe you wish you could have that deep talk with someone close to you. But you don't want to feel embarrassed or vulnerable. I get it. I truly get it. And that is why you cycle God into your life. Because when no one knows about something you are dealing with, God already does. God already knew it was going to happen, matter of fact. So why don't you talk to him about it? If you have to sit in a room by yourself and you have to cry for 35 minutes straight, then do it. Let yourself feel, because the only way that you will heal is by feeling those emotions. You can't keep pushing yourself every day to keep going and just be this strong person and never feel your emotions. You will drive yourself wild. You have to feel what you are going through. You could have had a breakup 8 months ago, and you ignored all the feelings that came with it. You ignored the loneliness. You ignored the cheating. You ignored the chaos. You ignored the stress it brought you. And now you're feeling it months later. And you're like, why am I going to sit here and cry about that? I don't give a damn about that. You do, though. You do. So let the tears out. Let yourself feel. You might be in another relationship now months later, but you're over here sad because of something else. Because you never let yourself heal from it. You never let yourself feel your emotions. All you want to do is be this strong person because so many people see that everything that you go through, you somehow make it out the other side. But what they don't see is the struggle and the sadness and just the hard, heavy weight that life brings you sometimes. Because you are the strong person. Everybody knows you to always have a game plan. You always figure everything out, right? You gotta stay strong because you're the one that people depend on. You can't let somebody see you cry. It's embarrassing. So start entering God's presence and let those tears out. Start entering God's presence and talking to God about it if it's too embarrassing to talk to someone else about. That is what I mean when I say, I hope you heal from the things that no one knows about. I pray that you are proud of yourself for surviving the silent battles. I pray that you are proud of yourself for surviving the silent battles. There are people, I'm never going to say names, but there are people that have messaged me that have said, I no longer want to be on this earth. I'm losing my mind. And I know God is working through me so much. My eyes could get teary right now. God is working through me so much. This is why I pray that you guys watch every video, even if you have to watch the same video over and over. Watch it till the end. Watch the whole thing, because there's no way I'm sitting here and it's not God speaking through me to you. Someone has to hear this message, whether it's 2 people or it's 1,000 or it's 20,000. Someone was meant to hear this, and you came across this video and this page for a reason. In that moment, I saw the message and I didn't know what to do. I almost didn't reply because it was so deep that I'm like, how How am I going to help? I don't know what to do. I'm a normal human being too. Like, I've been in that position too. And it's like, I don't even know what to say. What did I do? I seeked God. I asked God to speak through me to the person on the other side of my screen and save them from doing anything dumb. Save them from leaving this earth because they are here for a reason and God is not done with them. I created a personal prayer and I sent it to that person. So this is what I mean. If you are ever struggling or if you ever need a prayer for anything, yes, I get a million DMs, but I will notice. And if it is meant for me to reply to you, God will align it as such. So don't ever think you are alone, because even if you do not have anybody, God is always near you. I promise you. So be proud of yourself for surviving battles that no one knew about. No one knew about it and you're still standing strong. There were probably days you went to work and you were ready to break down and you still went because that's what you had to do. You had bills to pay. You had to be strong. But be proud of yourself for still being here and surviving those battles that nobody knew about. And never let anybody belittle the type of person you are because you are so strong. The next line says, I pray that you thank God for all of the things he has done on your behalf. I pray that you thank God for another day, even if life feels heavy to you. You are supposed to be here. When life feels heavy, or if I'm going through something and I'm like, oh my goodness, here comes another thing. I'm ready to bite the dust. I am ready to throw in the towel. I promise you, God. I've said it. How am I possibly going to handle another obstacle when I'm already drowning and I can't even get my head above water? My head goes up and bam, another wave comes. How am I supposed to keep going if I don't even have the strength to keep going? I'm trying. I'm doing everything I possibly can and I'm still getting knocked down? Like, what type of junk is this? Like, what? But what I tell myself is, if you could not handle it, God would not give it to you. And yeah, I might sound nuts, or some of you might get what I'm saying. If you were not strong enough, God would not give it to you. You just don't know your own strength. That's why it feels like things are crashing against you, or the weight of the world is literally pushing you down beneath the ground. Because you don't know your own strength. And as soon as you start talking to God, what? You're going to learn more about yourself and you're going to realize how strong you are, because look at the things that you've already made it through. So you are so capable of making it through anything that comes your way. Just talk to God when it gets heavy. When things get heavy, I'm like, if I don't have the strength, God, give me some of that strength. God, step onto the scene because I cannot do this by myself. Yes, you equipped me for this journey and you knew this obstacle was coming, but I'm tired. I am so tired. The weight is too heavy. Tell God what's going on. Tell God how you feel. Like, you could be so exhausted and it's just one thing after another. And you're like, God, I need your help. He's going to listen. He's going to send help. Just because he put an obstacle in front of you or 17 obstacles in front of you doesn't mean he's just going to let you drown. Never. God will push you to the edge, but he will never let you fall. That was in a prayer that I wrote. And I faithfully tell myself that. Because if I were not meant to go through it, I wouldn't be going through it. Especially if God sent it. Now, the next line says, I pray that your heart learns to know peace. The type of peace that quiets the chaos in your mind. That's what we were just talking about. I pray that you always choose yourself and love yourself. And after that, I pray that you choose who chooses and loves you. Stop staying where you are comfortable. Stop staying with what you're used to. Stop staying just because you might feel like your energy or your love is benefiting someone else. Go where you are valued, you are loved, where you are chosen every day. Because I promise when someone knows how to love, that means they know God. And the thing is, when God knows who and what are aligned for your life, and you ask God who and what are aligned for your life, and if he could please bless you with those things, then he will send someone your way that knows how to love. Because God is what? God is full of love. So stop leading yourself in this life because all you're going to do is lead to destruction. This is why you keep running back to the same environments, the same jobs, the same friendships. the same relationships, because you're used to it. So go even where it feels uncomfortable, because that is where you will grow into who you are meant to be. And now from Psalm 46, verse 10, be still and know that I am God. When my mind gets cluttered with chaos, or I don't know which direction to go, or I don't know what path to go down, or I'm like, damn, I love being by myself so much, I don't even want to have friends. Be still and talk to God. Ask God, is this the season I'm supposed to be in? Am I supposed to be isolated like this? Are people taking offense to it? Am I supposed to go out and mingle with people? Should I work at this job? Should I not? Should I give this person the time of day? Should I not? Talk to God like he is your best friend. It's going to change your life. So he says, be still and know that I am God, meaning that when your mind is full of chaos, full of fear or worry or questions, and you have no answers, be still and seek God, because he knows the answers. The last part says, don't stress over things that are out of your control. God says, I am God, so let me handle it. In Jesus' name, amen. God is God, so let him handle it. I'm going to leave it off on that note. I really appreciate all you guys for waiting around. Whether you're like, why the heck hasn't she posted a video yet? And she's over here posting on TikTok. I'm just a person just trying to keep up and just trying to spread my positivity and my love. So thank you for being here. 2 videos coming next week. I'm filming them this weekend. I promise you will see my potato head on your screen twice next week. Alrighty, guys, follow the Insta. Follow my TikTok if you don't already. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification button so you can be notified every time I post, so you don't miss a video, because I'm going to be consistent moving forward. Again, let God lead you. Stop trying to lead yourself. It leads to destruction. So seek God in all you do, and he will align you with who and what are meant for you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
That's what I pray for, so that's what I wait for. Dear God, can we